Hey guys, this is Gloria Ward, and this is segment number two of our I'm Loving Me Project webinar series. And I am joined with Michelle Afford. And Michelle, she is a dynamic entrepreneur. She has been featured in one of our blog posts on our I'm Loving Me Project blog page, which you should go by and take a look at. And today she's going to discuss with us her journey as an entrepreneur, as a woman, and how she's really moving and shaking around to really help herself grow. And so, Michelle, thank you so much for being here. I know we've been trying to connect back and forth, and I had all these little issues going on, but I thank you for being so patient and really coming on and really speaking to us. So thank you
Well,
for
thank you
being
for
here.
having me. It's just such a pleasure to be interviewing with you, just to talk about the I Am Loving Me project. I think it's a wonderful project, by the way.
Thank you.
And never mind about the different things because it's part of life. Things happen, and
Yeah.
so we go on from there. But tonight we've made the opportunity to, come and speak with one another, and that's all that matters.
That is true. And so tell me, let's get into it. Like for us at the I'm Loving Me Project, my goal is to inspire 1 million women to love themselves. And, we're really pushing forward with that. We have over 3,000 people in our Facebook community now
Awesome.
because of people like you and others who are giving some great content. They are doing some wonderful things in their life. And the one thing that I want to know is, what were some of the things that you saw when you looked in the mirror before you got to this point?
I saw a little girl that needed nurturing and needed guidance. Although I've been told that I've been an old soul all my life, pretty much.
Yeah,
Uh, and I grew up around a lot of wise women. Sometimes it's tough to find your own individuality.
right.
And when you're young, you have to go through a lot of different things to find that space. So, often when I used to get up in the mirror, I used to ask myself, who am I?
Right.
But it didn't come, the answer to that didn't come until my mid teenage years of who I really am and who I wanted to be in the future. So it's a journey. Life in itself is a journey.
Absolutely.
And when I got to the point of being able to just think about who I wanted to be in life, that's when things started to develop. Um, my mindset of that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew when I was a little girl because, like I said, we anytime I wanted something and I
Yeah.
knew my mom or my mom couldn't afford it, I would say, "What can I do to so I can make this money
Yeah.
to buy what I want?"
Right.
And we started. I remember we were probably like 10 years old. Um, Starting this lemonade stand and baking cookies and things of that nature in the community. We built our own little stand out of crates and cardboard.
Uh-huh.
But I think really, although then, I think that it really started coming to me of who I wanted to be, but I just didn't know it.
Right.
I
Hmm.
didn't know to call it entrepreneur at that time, being so young, but I knew that this is what I need to do in order for me to get this.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I think things identify with us, really within our spirits, but we don't recognize it until we get much older to understand certain things or certain processes in life.
Right. And it's like for me, when I was growing up, it's like you will always, I won't say always told no, but you just never really understood, how poor you were because everybody else around you was kind of the same. It
Right.
wasn't until I would tell people, it wasn't until you went to school where you saw that this person had, the latest thing, and then this person had this, and around this time, like Easter, the kids would come with their Easter outfits and everything. And then, my grandmother would have to talk with us about Easter and say, hey, we probably, have to wear what you wore last year, or, something like that, because I can't go out and buy you these things. And then you start to say to yourself, like, okay, how come we can never get anything? Like, what is wrong, with us? And then you find out, oh, your family doesn't have as much money as the other person. So you start to get creative, right? Like you said, you try to find ways to get what it is that you want. But when you was looking at that lady in the mirror, that young teenage girl in the mirror, what is it that you saw in her? Did you see that fire? Did you always have this like high self-esteem, or was it something that was built up?
I would say, I think it was always there. And the reason I say that is because of the upbringing. We grew up in church,
Okay.
In the Kojic religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, you didn't really focus on a whole lot of things as far as name brands and different things. And then just being around just certain type of positive women, you never thought that your self-esteem wasn't allowed to be just in this bad place or bad light.
Gotcha.
I would say for me, because I had so many positive influences and reinforces around my life, that it didn't allow for me to think that I wasn't worthy, or didn't allow for me to think that I shouldn't have certain things in my life, or that I should not believe in myself. We were always in this happy space or happy place, or taught to, really give gratitude to God and give thanks. And so those kind of things being branded in you kind of helps your self-esteem, even as a young girl, even if you don't understand everything in life, those things teach you how to be. And we had this class that we used to take, Young Women Christian Council.
Mm-hmm.
So they taught us and nurtured us a lot in those classes, as far as life itself. The only thing that I would say that was not so good about it is about when it became the part of dating. And that's a whole new
Of course not, okay? We didn't date nobody. You wait until you get married, you're 50 years old, and that's it. No, boys are nasty until you get married, right?
Yes. So they kind of put that in our heads, and but I won't talk about that.
We know how that is, but it's a blessing that you had that, because it's like a lot of women, Michelle, and I know you bump into this a lot, struggle so much, especially in our field of entrepreneurship, where you really want to live out your dream. You always feel like you have to put yourself last in order for you to get what you want. You always have to do the sacrificing,
right.
And if you decide to go ahead and put yourself first, you're being selfish. You're not choosing your family. You're not choosing your mate. You're not, doing your womanly duties. And and it's like, you have to say, yo, that is not fair.
Right.
If I really want something, and I really want to be an entrepreneur, and I know that it's going to take the grind and the work, I'm going to have to be able to put myself first. And if you don't have that self-esteem, or wasn't around positivity, most of the time you're not going to make it, because you're going to listen, right? You're going to listen to those people who are telling you that you're selfish and you're not doing this and that. And that's what I tell women all the time. You have to love yourself first, and you have to choose yourself first. And if nobody has been telling you that, then you have to be able to find those resources and people who will, if you want to do more than what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
how is your adventure being an entrepreneur out there and just being a woman doing what it is that you're doing, and explain to people what you're doing so that they would know.
Well, there's a lot of things, a lot of hats that I wear.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say to any entrepreneur, is a lot of times people become afraid to even take that step into being an entrepreneur.
Right.
But I'm here to tell you, it's been times that I've dabbled into something and then it didn't work. And people are afraid to fail, but it's okay to have things not to work out. I'd rather try something and not work out to not try it at all and never know what could have come of it. A lot of the things that I'm doing, I am into life coaching and in the real estate industry. I've been in both kind of industries, real estate over 20 something years, and
Okay.
in the life coaching, it was a thing that I went back and forth with, because sometimes people, they look at, going back to what you said a little earlier, sometimes people are looking for deals and things of that nature, and they want you to discount your services and discount. And because I consider myself a very compassionate person, it becomes difficult to tell someone no, that they need your help and they can't afford your services. But then on the other hand, people can afford, to do things, anything they want to do. If they really want to do it, they'll find the money.
Right. They'll find it. That's right. That's
And
right.
sometimes as an entrepreneur, it's hard to divide your spiritual life or your spiritual giving spirit and be an entrepreneur at the same time. Those are some of the things that I struggled with at first.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned that over time that people will do and come up with resources, financial resources, if they really truly want to do something. If it's that important to them, they will come up with the financial resources.
Just like how you hustled when you were young to get what it is that you wanted. Everybody does that. I tell people all the time, Michelle, life has 3 teachers, right? You got the teacher of heartbreak.
Yep.
Teacher of empty pockets, right? And you got that teacher that will sit there and tell you that you need to get up and do what it is that you need to do. Is there. That's the teacher that's in the back of your head.
Absolutely.
The one that don't speak, that don't get that much attention.
Right.
And they knock on you. But if you want something, trust me, you will find a way, because you know why? We got robbers who do. Right?
Absolutely.
All these people who do, and I tell people, we put a certain percentage away in our business for those people who might not be able to afford certain things, but we have a criteria for those, right? What we tell people is like, you can't always go ahead and get a handout, right? You have to be able to see how good it feels to work for what it is that you want. Because you know what? You will appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm out here grinding every day to make sure I'm saving women and helping, empowering them. I'm not looking for a handout, and neither, it's like, and neither should you.
Right.
But it's so hard to get that across sometimes, because people are always thinking about themselves, and that's what that is. They're not thinking about how hard you've worked to get
exactly.
Right. They just try to see if they can get that shortcut.
Right. Absolutely.
That shortcut.
They understand that even being, even developing into being an entrepreneur, there are a lot of stepping stones you have to take to get wherever you are in your business. And it's not always a pretty picture.
No.
Sometimes it could take a toll on you financially, spiritually, mentally, because of so much you have to put into the work. Correct. And a lot of times people don't understand that or see that. but I wouldn't want to scare anyone from wanting to take that step into entrepreneurship, because it becomes a beautiful thing
Oh,
when
absolutely.
you're running your own business. You don't have to answer to anyone else, and you're uh, really riding and serving in your purpose, and you're making money from it, and you're excited about it. I get excited about what I do because it is something that I'm very passionate about, and it keeps me going
Yep.
each and every day. It doesn't matter how many struggles I have and what I do. Every morning when I get up, I can say that I literally have a smile and say, on to the next thing, and continue to do what I'm doing to help other women, help, I have like this thing. It's just like God keeps bringing me certain pockets of things in working with young girls and women.
Yep.
I'm a Girl Scout troop leader, and
Uh-huh.
that's sort of kind of fell into my lap. They came looking for me, asking me about being a troop leader for an area for underprivileged girls, and my answer was totally yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a part of being an entrepreneur. You have to get back to your community, and
Correct.
then you're able to touch the hearts of young girls at this age,
Yes.
and helping them to develop into women, into entrepreneurs, into teachers and lawyers and doctors by your positive influence in their life. So that was just something that I knew that was a godsend.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those things, kind of cultivate you into even. I know a lot of people won't see the connection right away, but right away I saw the connection, because being an entrepreneur and being in life coaching and things of that nature is all about encouraging and empowering people,
Planting
and
seed.
and when you have that tool that God gives you, and He wants you to impart into young women. I saw the vision all the way down the road. It's just like, this is a God seeing. So I know that I'm walking in the purpose with the business that I have. And with me being in housing, I appreciate finding homes and putting people in places when they're displaced,
Yeah.
that we can place them in housing. And I see how everything that I do or God has ordained me to do correlates and syncs together perfectly. But when I was veering off trying to do this and veering this way to do
Shortcut. Shortcut is a hard life. That's what I tell people. A shortcut is a hard life. A shortcut
yes,
is a hard life. You know why? Because it took God 7 days to put it together, to put the
yeah,
world
absolutely.
together, to put things together, to give you the opportunity to use the resources you have, your purpose,
Yes,
and everything
yes,
inside of you. He didn't take a shortcut with that. You know,
right, absolutely.
so when you start to see that you are walking in your purpose and you're living in your purpose, it's kind of like what you said. Even though you face obstacles, and those obstacles that you're facing are just those obstacles of things that you don't know yet, because it's
Yeah,
new for you. That's
right,
it. You don't have
right,
the experience to get through the hump. So there's always a learning phase as you go along. that's
absolutely.
where that's where people get caught up, because they're like, damn, it's another thing to learn. Like, now I gotta learn how to do this, and how long
Yeah,
is this gonna take? And then you get over
right.
that, and then there's another, but it never stops until you get in the rhythm of really, 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 really getting moving. But like I tell people, once you get moving, that momentum happens, then
Mhm.
you are okay. You will attract the people that you need to keep the machine going. You and,
Absolutely.
but you can't take the shortcut, because the shortcut
Yeah,
is going to lead you somewhere where you don't want to be. But one of the
absolutely.
things I wanted to piggyback on is that when you said, you know it's your purpose, isn't it crazy how, and I know you've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, that when you finally figure out your purpose, that you just get this breath of fresh air, like, thank you, God, I finally get it. Like,
Yeah,
you just feel life opens up for you, because that's how I feel now. Like, I've
Yeah.
been in IT for a very long time. I got 2 degrees doing all this stuff, and really pushing in my field. And then when God gave me this vision, it was like I started breathing and everything just started to come together. And that's why my mind is blown about the success we had in such a short amount of time.
Hmm.
I said to myself, this is my damn purpose.
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what
That's
I'm
what
saying? Don't you
I'm
feel like that? Wait, just like what you said with the Girl Scouts, it's like you sit up here and you say, you know what? This is my purpose because I could do
saying.
this.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
don't feel the
Absolutely.
struggle. I don't feel that thing in you where you have to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Where you're
Mhm.
trying to figure out. You don't have, to deal with customers who want this and want that. They want what you have. They
Mhm.
okay with what it is, you know?
Right.
And so I just thought that was amazing. But it takes time to get there because you have to go through so many things, right?
Exactly.
And then once you get there, that's when you just be like, wow, here I am. So tell us what you're doing now. Tell us some of the things that we can get involved in and everything. So you're
Well, you know,
life coaching.
like I said, I'm wearing a lot of hats, but they all correlate and they sync because right now, organization sought me out and asked me to be a pageant director for their organization.
Okay.
And I was a pageant director a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
Um, but it was also something that I knew that it was meant for me to do
Hmm.
because again, it correlates with my life coaching. It correlates with me doing the Girl Scout because I was able to present that as an empowerment tool for the Girl Scouts.
Okay.
Pageantry instead of it all being about beauty, but empowerment for our young girls. And it just excited me because I felt like, oh, is this really you, God? But and I believe in signs. He'll
Yeah,
send
me
you
too.
confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And I had already been developing my own pageant and wasn't going to come out with it until 2020, but this organization already sought me out
Got it.
and I had to do my research and everything. And I was like, this is real. Because I was trying to figure out where did they meet me? Where did they know me from?
Right.
uh, but after talking with the owners and everything, it was just a true blessing. And sometimes you got to know that sometimes things are for a season. You just never know that sometimes a God will put you're the person that is meant to get it all started,
Right.
and why I open myself up to making sure that I'm listening and not reacting before I begin with anything because he'll tell you this is a vehicle you need to go through to get to here. And
Right.
so that's I like to always ask God every morning when I wake up to order my footsteps
Yes.
because it was a time that I wasn't doing that.
Come
I
on.
was doing anything that I wanted to do and I saw that it wasn't working like that. Doing it my way. But
Right.
when I started strategically paying attention and listening, the different things that he wanted me to do and instructed me to do, they start falling in line. So everything is just kind of falling in line. And so the pageantry is something that I'm really excited about because again, it's a group of girls between the ages of 17 and 27.
Wow. Good ages.
And and so I'm like, okay, I got K through 8 with Girl Scouts. I got 17 to 27 with the pageant system. And then again, women, in my age bracket, 40s on up. I'm like, so he really wants me to work with
Got it.
women and girls.
Yep. Go get them. You gotta go get them. You gotta go get them. You gotta go get them.
Because you never know how you can touch and impart into their lives. And when people see you as that tool, a lot of people tell me that I'm encouraged and I'm inspired. And it's encouraging to hear that. But sometimes I even ask myself, well, what did I say? You know, what was it that I said? I kind of ask myself a lot because it
You
happens
know
a
what it
lot.
is, Michelle? Is because you've been empowered and around such strong women since you were younger that it
Mhm.
comes naturally, and you would be surprised about how many women hear just little things like, you can do it, I love you, you're the best, you can
Mhm.
get over this, you can get through this. It was a shock to me when I'm talking with grown women who never heard words like, you're amazing, you're
Really?
needed, the world needs you. I tell people that all the time. The
Mhm.
world needs you, because whatever it is that you have to go out and share. And that's why I made it a point with this project. I'm not looking for celebrities. I'm not looking for, people who you look at and you say, this is me and this is them.
Right.
I want women who are doing extraordinary things to come and
Mhm.
talk to another woman who wants to do extraordinary things. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because
Yeah.
it is that talk, this talk that we're having now, that's going
Mhm.
to empower you to do something. Even if it empowers you to go to Barnes and Nobles and get a How Do I Start a Business book, I don't care.
Right. Absolutely.
At least it did something. And the great thing is that you can reach out and touch.
Absolutely. And that's the key.
You see what I'm saying? You can
Touching out,
reach
reaching
out
out
and
and touching.
touch, because that is where you really get the learning and the training. You know,
Right.
where that person is not that far where you got to go and you got to get a ticket and you got to go do this and that. You can send me a message and we can go ahead and start working together to help
I love that.
point. You understand? To get you up to
Yeah.
a certain point, because I'm here. This is my mission. This is my life purpose. This is what I do. You
Mhm.
know, and
Right.
that was my vision behind the project. Where if you're gonna help people change, you got to do the work. You got to do the
Absolutely.
work. It's not all about talk. You got to do and have some type of
Mhm.
action. So
Right.
again, give us all of your handles, your Facebook, your Instagram, what you're doing, your email address. How can people find you? Everything you
Okay, I have www.michellealfredcoach.com. I'm kind of redeveloping that website. Then my Facebook page is Michelle Alfred Coach. Um, I think is that www.facebook.com/.
have. Yeah, but they can just go at Michelle Alford.
Alfred. So I got a couple of pages out there because I've authored a couple of things, and so you may find a few pages out there for me.
Okay.
Um, and then my Instagram is Michelle Alford Life Coach,
Okay.
and the Miss Grand Michigan pageant. Like I said, I just kind of took that over. And now I've taken over Miss Grand Ohio, so we will be having pageants in both of those states in
And can anybody
2012.
participate? Do they have to, or you guys
Yeah,
already got people?
we are currently doing a casting call this next Saturday here in Michigan, but we are going to be having more casting calls and then asking for people to send in video castings if they can't make it on site. And
Okay.
it's going to be a wonderful opportunity because we have a lot of wonderful prizes. And this is supposed to, again, empower the girls. It's not just about beauty, but
Right.
it's about community service, about empowering other women, about encouraging them, building their self-esteem. Um, so it's a lot of things that we're doing with that. The system itself is the Miss Grand USA system.
Okay.
Um, but each individual state has various directors. So I decided I was going to do. They wanted me to do 4 states, but I said that was a big
Oh man.
responsibility. So I just took on Michigan is where I am, and
Uh,
Ohio, and I have a business partner that's assisting me with that.
okay.
And then we have a business pageant that we're developing. That's for the women, my age and up 40, and it's a unique idea for that. It's supposed to empower women and also make open the opportunity for them to gain money to start their business if they want to, or to enhance the building that the business they already have.
Oh, we
I'm
gotta
looking
talk then.
forward to that. Actually, I did a pitch for an organization and they loved it so much. So I have the opportunity to win some money to get that started. And
Good.
I'm excited about that.
Yes, and you need to talk to me too because we is launching the Girls Leap of our program where we're
Mhm.
going to be helping a lot of women entrepreneurs, take their business from scratch up into $1 million, and I'm going to show them and lay them out the plan on what they should be working on and what they should be doing. And
Okay.
we would love to add that aspect to it for real, and your life coaching aspect. So I would say send send all of your information over. And as far as the Michigan thing, send that over too, because we probably have some members who are in Michigan that believe their kids look okay.
Okay. All right. I definitely will do that.
and, and want to participate. So
There's a slot for everybody. So
can I pass as a 17-year-old this day?
you sure can. You actually.
Here we go. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on. Okay. And I really, really appreciate it. And let's continue to talk for real because I really do want to get everybody involved and get things rolling. So if there's any way I can help, just let me know. Okay.
And
And
the feeling is mutual here.
yeah, and we do want to bring you back for the life coaching piece. You just tell me, what you want to set up so we can, keep empowering women and really, start to transform some lives. I really do want to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I appreciate it and thank you so much for having me here.
No problem. And we'll talk again. And thank you so much.
And I definitely want to support the t-shirts. I need to get one of those. I
I
love
tell
it.
everybody, please buy a t-shirt. We will buy a t-shirt. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
I'll buy one and then I'll send you a picture of me wearing it.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I see you.
Yeah.
Bye.